This is going to be a doozy. Congress wants to know what the biggest game companies are doing to combat extremism. A letter is being sent to companies like EA, Activision Blizzard, and Riot. A group of 7 lawmakers are sending a letter to the world's biggest video game companies tomorrow, asking each of them what steps they're taking to combat harassment and extremism in online video games. This is why we can't have nice things. As Axios reports, the 7 Democratic representatives, what a surprise, including Lori Trahan from Massachusetts, Katie Porter from California, and Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon, have all co-signed a letter which is looking to better understand the processes you have in place to handle player reports of harassment, extremism, encounters in your online games, and asks for consideration of safety measures pertaining to anti-harassment and anti-extremism. Unsurprisingly, the list includes companies like Activision Blizzard for Call of Duty and Overwatch, Microsoft Xbox, Sony PlayStation, Roblox, Take-Two Interactive which has Grand Theft Auto and NBA 2K, Riot Games, which is responsible for League of Legends and Valorant, Epic, which is responsible for Fortnite, and Electronic Arts, which releases Battlefield, FIFA, and Madden. Those are all impressive international companies, most of them with thousands of employees spread out all over the world, and responsible for some of the planet's most popular and enduring online games. To want to grill them when so many of them are based in the U.S., or at least most popular in the U.S., is a pretty obvious move. Hilariously, though, whoever put this list together or which companies to target has clearly just gone down a list of most popular games, not biggest companies, because among those titans of industry are Innersloth, the developers of Among Us. Among Us may be a huge hit, but Innersloth are also a tiny team. How tiny? This tiny. Innersloth's website says the studio currently has 20 employees. I don't know how much they're going to be able to explain when the game has you playing as a cute little astronaut, doesn't have voice chat, and only lets players communicate via a menu of pre-written lines. But then nobody has to legally reply to the letter at all. It's just a letter. So maybe they can just reply, sorry, thanks, this is meant for Xbox, and get on with their day. So with all the things going on in the world, Democrats feel this is what's most important.
Yeah, while people in our country are starving from lack of food and resources, we got to spend like half a day every day for how many hours on end just trying to investigate extremism in video games. That's lovely right there, Congress. You really wasted a lot of our tax dollars for that matter. Congratulations.
It's all from the Democrats.
It's Democrats doing this stuff, huh?
Yeah, it was all Democrats that signed the letter.
I don't understand how politicians of today. Like, I understand they're over 50. They never experienced having a game before in their lives yet, or if they did have a game, it was being Jack in the Box or what's it called, Flak Jacks, whatever it's called. Those type of games they grew up with, but they were grew up with a handheld device like a Game Boy or perhaps even a PlayStation. I can understand that. They never experienced these type of games before altogether, and it's to a point where it's like, why you wasted so much of your time for finding about extremism in video games, knowing that the younger generations are not into that type of stuff. They're not into knowing about World War II and then how to reinvigorate the Nazism and stuff like that. Very few of them, extremely few of them, think like that. And they usually don't have no guidance in the matter, so they just look it up on video games. Like, oh, that's my inspiration. It's video games. And I want to make it into its manifestation of my real life. But you're not gonna get that in today's gamers. They're not into forming an army or forming a revolution in this country or whatever. It's a thing of the past. Oh yes, and are there 35-plus-year-olds like myself who are into history and want to reinvigorate some glorious moments of our American culture? I guess so. But with the numbers involved, with the people involved, with the mindset, it's all about the mind first. Then you can manifest that idea into actuality. And at this time, you ruined the imaginations of the youth. They're not into like all that wartime stuff or forming the Siamese Liberation Army Square or the Weather Underground type of shit. Like whatever you're thinking of, they just want to play games. That's all.
Yep.
Did I maybe me want to start revolution, which doesn't make any sense though, because I personally myself, I'm glad that I have a roof over my head and video games I could choose from any time of the day. I could work whenever I want to, how much I want to. Like I'm not gonna ruin that for myself and others. You know, I can understand the feeling. Like why ruin something that we already have that's a blessing? You know, so I'm glad. I'm glad that Congress is like being so outdated now because the next generation coming in, that's when they're going to see some big differences in our country. Right now, it's hard to find that because no one's like organized like to pursue leadership in government like as of today, and it sucks. You can't find that right now. Hopefully, in the next 5 or 10 years, things will change. So that's all I got to say.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous. I mean, take these Democratic lawmakers who signed this letter, and like I always like to say, expose them to an Xbox 360 Call of Duty online lobby.
Yeah, they won't survive.
If you extremism and please, so there's I think there's more important things like inflation and rising crime and rising prices of food and gas. There's more important things than to worry about extremism and video games
Definitely.
that Congress could get involved in. This is just a waste of time. This is just like the night trap situation when lawmakers were getting all pissy over that.
Oh yeah.
This is what I feel like is today's version of that, basically.
Oh yeah, definitely.